Hello and welcome to Global Lens with me, Parikshit Luthra. Over the next 30 minutes, we'll get you all the top stories from India and around the world. Our big story, Prime Minister Modi is in the Maldives for a two-day visit. He was greeted by President Mohammad Muizzu and received a ceremonial welcome in the Maldives. This is Prime Minister Modi's third visit to the country and the first by any foreign leader since Muizzu took office. Prime Minister Modi will be the guest of honor. Yes, he will be the guest of honor at the Maldives' 60th Independence Day celebrations. 2025 is also the year that India and Maldives mark 60 years of diplomatic relations. Let's get you more on the two countries. The two leaders held talks to strengthen the bilateral partnership. Under various sectors, they signed 4 MOUs and 3 agreements in the fields of fisheries, meteorology, the pharma sector, digital infrastructure. India also extending a line of credit of 4,850 crores to the Maldives. The two sides also decided to launch negotiations for a free trade agreement, also agreeing on the terms of reference for an FTA. Prime Minister Modi's visit marks a reset in ties after Maldivian officials had made certain derogatory remarks against the Prime Minister. Those ministers have resigned and it seems that Maldives is turning the page. Let's listen in to the leaders, Mohammad Muizzu, the President of Maldives, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
आपसी निवेश को गति देने के लिए हम शीघ्र ही बायलैटरल इन्वेस्टमेंट ट्रीटी फाइनलाइज करने की दिशा में काम करेंगे। फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट पर भी बातचीत शुरू हो गई है। अब हमारा लक्ष्य है फ्रॉम पेपर वर्क टू प्रॉस्पेरिटी।
The line of credit agreement of $565 million. This LOC will be utilized for priority projects of my government across key sectors including defense, sports, healthcare, education, and housing. I'm also pleased to announce the initiation of negotiations for a free trade agreement between India and the Maldives.
Joining us on the Global Lens today exclusively is Abdulla Shahid, the former foreign minister of the Maldives. Mr. Shahid, thank you so much for joining us on the program on CNBC-TV18. How significant is this visit? When President Muizzu took over, it was said and it was felt very widely in India that Maldives is inching closer to China at the risk of damaging a relationship with India. Has there now been a reset and are the India-Maldives relations back on track?
Thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to be with you on this very important day. It's a significant event for the Maldives to once again host the Indian Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, because the Prime Minister and India is a genuine friend of the Maldives. It is most unfortunate that during the last presidential elections, the party in office today built up a narrative portraying India as a country which had ill intentions towards the Maldives, and that the Indian military was present in the Maldives in great numbers, and that India had its intention to control the Maldives. This unfortunate narrative, which was built by the party of President Muizzu and President Muizzu himself, leading to a campaign of India out, created such an unfortunate chapter in our bilateral relations, which is spanning to 60 years, which we are marking tomorrow. Now that Prime Minister Modi is welcomed on Maldivian shores, and that he is going to be the chief guest at tomorrow's Independence Day parade is an outstanding milestone when we see how the relationship has evolved in the past few years. It has also to be brought to attention that after President Moizu took office, he had kept on making these unfortunate statements, referring to India as a bully, and also, as you had mentioned, three junior ministers making very derogatory remarks about Prime Minister Modi and Indian government. The three junior ministers have been since then transferred to state-owned enterprises, and they still continue to hold quite significant positions in the party hierarchy and the government hierarchy. However, I am hoping, and everyone in the Maldives is hoping, that this visit by Prime Minister is going to help a complete reset of the relationship between our two countries. The last 21 months had been wasted in a way, but we are hoping that, look,
Okay, Mr. Shahid,
India is a genuine friend.
Right, Mr. Shahid, you're saying that last 21 months have been wasted. I'd like to ask you about the free trade agreement talks. Today, terms of reference have been agreed upon. Both sides have announced the start of FTA negotiations. Would you say this is significant?
It is indeed significant, but these are things which we should have been doing for the last 21 months. That is my point. We had wasted 21 months nitpicking and trying to portray our best friend, our first responder, and the country which has had the most contribution to our 60 years of independence in our journey of nation building by trying to vilify our best friend. The developments of today, the signing of these agreements, are most welcome. And unfortunately, during the last 21 months, the Maldivian people have always been witnessing a complete U-turn of all what President Moizu promised in coming to office. And this is one occasion where Maldivians are quite happy that Moizu has made a U-turn, because this is something Maldivians have been waiting for, and this is most welcome. But the only concern people here are having today is that is Moizu going to continue to honor the commitments that he has made today? Is this genuine, or is this once again done for political convenience? And is this done only because of the difficult economic situation that he has brought the country into?
Okay, today there has also been agreement for a line of credit of rupees 4,850 crores to the Maldives. There has also been an amendment on the agreement to reduce annual debt repayment obligations of Maldives on Government of India funded line of credits. Is this something that will help Maldives in this hour of crisis? And the Prime Minister, while addressing the people, while addressing the media and addressing the press in the presence of President Moizu, says, friendship first. What was the significance of the Prime Minister's remarks, according to you?
Parikshit, you would recall that when we were office, President Saleh visited Delhi 1 month to the day he was sworn into office, and Prime Minister Modi and the Indian government was generous in giving President Saleh $800 million line of credit. And out of the $800 million, unfortunately, because of COVID and other challenges, there was about $450 million which we couldn't spend. And we are very, very encouraged, and we are very grateful that India has extended $565 million of line of credit to President Moizu. And also the initiation and agreement of favorable terms for debt repayment is also a most welcome agreement. The only thing that concerns Maldivian people today is, will this leniency be used again to spend on political spending, or whether this money that is being so generously rescheduled by India is going to be spent on paying to other countries where we owe debt.
Right. I would also like to ask you about the future of India-Maldives relations at a time when China is also growing its footprint to the region. This is a very crucial country for India in terms of a long-term strategic partnership for trade, for maritime routes. What is at stake here? Because when we look at the national debt of Maldives, almost $1.2 billion in loans have been taken from China, and this now comprises 20% of Maldives' national debt. Is there a worry now about how much does the Maldivian government actually owe to China?
Well, the question that Delhi should be asking today is the leniency that they have given to the Maldivian government in paying what we owe to Delhi is going to be used to repay our other debtors. If Delhi should keep the Maldivian government in check, making sure that the finances that would be available with the leniency in paying the debt is not used for other unnecessary purposes. The future of our relationship, Parikshit, is going to be always bright. It is going to be always brighter, because today in Maldives, once again, we are witnessing that the relationship between our two countries is not based on a political party or the color of the political party. This relationship is based, founded on people-to-people contact, and this relationship will continue to flourish. Whichever government is in place in Maldives, this is going to flourish. There is a much, much more stronger relationship and partnership between India and Maldives. And it is a natural partnership. However much a political party or a government tries to distance itself from India, we will not be able to distance, because we are naturally next to each other. Our countries are so close that within 1 hour we will be able to reach by flight to each other's shores. And the importance of security in the Indian Ocean cannot be overstated, because...
But to foster stronger relations in future. Yeah, Mr. Shahid, what I'm trying to ask you, that if India had to foster stronger relations with Maldives, be a preferred partner in the region, what does India need to do for future strengthening of ties between the two nations?
Well, what India has been doing under Prime Minister Modi is exactly what needs to be done, because when Maldivian government, when the new government came in, and when President himself came out and started making such unfounded accusations as bullying and others, Indian Prime Minister and the government did not react. You were very, very mature in your reaction. There were no knee-jerk reactions. I'm sure that there were many people who would have loved to see further deterioration, which would have come if Delhi would have reacted otherwise. But Delhi took time, and Delhi kept its low-key diplomatic efforts, and now the results are what we are seeing today. So yes, on and off we will have immature governments, but what we have seen is that the way in which Delhi has dealt with the situation is outstanding. It's commendable. It's very kind.
Right. My final question to you would be, how do you think India-Maldives ties are going to progress? And how do you see the growing influence of China in the region? Is this concerning for the people of Maldives, China's growing footprint?
Well, the concern for the Maldivians is that the increasing narrative that we will have to choose sides. There are people and corners who are pushing for the narrative that Maldivians will have to take a side between China and India. But both are good partners, development partners. They both proved to be genuine partners. But at the same time, we will also have to understand the natural partnership we have, the special relationship we have over the last 60 years with India. Every time we have had an emergency, whenever we have had to dial, as I call the international 911, India has been the first responder. You are the natural neighbor for us. And in our relationship, we will have to, Maldivian governments, successive governments will have to understand that this is a special partnership. We are not choosing sides, but the special relationship that exists between India and Maldives will have to be taken into consideration. And that is why during our time in office, last 5 years, we had India first policy when it came to foreign policy, because of the special relationship. It in any way does not mean that we do not value the relationship with others. The Indian Ocean security, Indian Ocean peace and stability is essential, not only for Maldives, but also for India. The prosperity of India, prosperity of Maldives, stability and peace comes through maintaining Indian Ocean as a zone of, as a peaceful zone, as a stable zone. We need to make sure that we do not allow any foreign powers to bring in foreign conflicts into this ocean and this region. Maldives is located at a very strategic location,
Right.
and we know that. We will not allow, we should not allow it to be utilized for any other purpose.
All right, Mr. Shahid, thank you so much for joining us on the program, giving us your overview of India-Maldives relations, the sticking points, and how there needs to be an India-first policy when it comes to the Maldives. We're taking a break, but don't go anywhere. When we return, we put the spotlight on India-UAE economic partnership. Welcome back. You are watching Global Lens with me, Parikshit Luthra. Our focus now on India-UAE economic relations. The ties have gained fresh momentum following the signing of the trade agreement between the two countries. Now, at the Investopia Global Investment Summit, which was held in Andhra Pradesh this week, UAE is looking at many more sectors for investments in India. This Investopia Summit, which has been put together by the government of Maldives, brings together investors, startups, innovators from all countries. Top leaders and investors from both nations brainstormed on how we can bring the two nations together. The Andhra Chief Minister, N. Chandrababu Naidu, was there, and he also met UAE's Minister for Economy and Tourism, Abdulla bin Touq Al Marri. I spoke to the minister, and I started by asking him about how far we have come in our relations and the priorities of Investopia in 2025 and what the UAE is seeking from this summit.
First of all, thank you so much for having me today. Yes, I've been visiting Andhra Pradesh and Telangana this last 2 days. I've been here working with the people, with the investments community. Investopia is a platform that was launched from the UAE 4 years ago, looking at investment in utopia. How do you invest in new, extraordinary kind of investment perspective? Now, with the visit of the Honorable Prime Minister Modi and our President, His Honor Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, and their collaborative effort and work together, today we see this is a right time to really bring these bridges of investments together. There's a commitment of more than 100 billion, north of $100 billion of commitment to invest in India. And I think this is something where today the platform as this is as important to really bring this together. We are be focusing here in Telangana this morning, speaking with the investments community here in 4 different aspects. One on the space and defense, one on tourism. We're looking at the aspects of food and food processing. And the last one is financial services, which overcomes as well the fintech. Now, with that said, I think we have as well committed to create a task force to really cross-bridge clusters, economies between all these 4 sectors. How do we look at that? And in Andhra Pradesh as well, we looked at the aspects of food processing, technology, as well as space. And I think this is an important aspect when it comes to really bridging different states as well and moving forward. Now, where does this come as well from? This goes back to 2022 with the signing of the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement back in February at that time. And I think today, going down to the level of states to really explain what CEPA is all about and how can business to business today form the formalities of it. I think the level of high level government to government job is to really open the markets, but today is B2B job as well to create that kind of investments, that kind of trade orders. And I think this is something which the Investopia is keen to really deliver in these 2 visits.
Right. What is the kind of commitment that the UAE will make in India this year in terms of investments?
I think there is many commitments coming up. There has been launches of many as well. I've been today with Tabreed, for instance. Tabreed is a company that's launched in the UAE. It's a public stock exchange company, and they are committed to actually invest more than $400 million into the new pharma city here in Hyderabad, for instance. That's one. There's others as well in renewable energy, into hydrogen that we've seen. There are commitments into food and food processing from businesses, for instance, that we've seen. They're looking at huge aspects. The UAE has a food security challenge, which we are targeting. We have a strategy for food security, and the bridge between food and food processing to really look at how the UAE and India can work on that kind of investment, not just to the UAE, but to the globe, is an opportunity of. So we're going to see more renewable energy. We're going to see more of commitments between Mubadala and others as well here, and Masdar as well, to see more of Masdar's investments here in India. That's important as well aspect when it comes to renewable energy as well, and really providing that aspect. Now, the last one, I think, which is a very important one, is on data centers. Data center is a key aspect investment platform for India and for the UAE. We're going to see more of that as well, commitment coming in the next couple of years as well. Data centers is something which is vital, powered by AI, of course, but as well renewable energy is important to really give that data centers the energy it needs.
Right. Minister, when we speak about India-UAE bilateral trade, that has risen to $100 billion in FY25 from $72.8 billion in FY22 since the signing of the India-UAE Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. What is the kind of growth in trade that you're expecting now for the future?
Well, to be honest, I didn't expect to reach $100 billion so soon. But what amazed me as well how the 2 countries are actually really working in partnership with this. We expected the $100 billion to be in the next couple of years, but to really hit it today in 2025, this really shows as well the commitment of the B2B, the commitment of the business community, the understanding of the culture, the understanding of the environment, the understanding of the kind of aspects between both nations and both people, businesses as well, really made sure that this target is hit very clearly. We need to look at the new target at the moment. $100 billion has been reached, and I think it's important to look at how can we go beyond that as well. What's the new target to be set? And I think this is an important aspect to reach. We are the 3rd largest in the trade partner with India, and I think this is something which is very important as well when it comes.
Right. What are the sectors in India that UAE investors and you, as the Minister of Economy, would be most keen to explore in India for future investments?
Well, we're looking at food and food processing. It's an important one. We launched the food and food processing cluster just a couple of months ago in the UAE. I think it's a bridging between that, creating a super cluster between UAE and India and food processing. That's one. Data centers, as I mentioned, is an important one in AI. That's a very, very important one between us. And I think the third one, which is a very important, is defense and space cluster, an important cluster to look at as well for investment. Fourth, we're looking at tourism. Tourism is a key aspect for any economy. Today, tourism in the UAE holds about 12% of GDP. It employs more than 800,000 jobs in the UAE. Comparably, globally, tourism actually is way beyond 10%. And it's the highest demanding job creation as well in any economy around the world. And I think it's important to bridge that between the UAE and India. How can we really look at more specific tourism aspects, such as medical tourism, such as sport tourism, and many more. We've seen the cricket playing in the UAE. We've seen visits happening. We've seen culture tourism as well, which is important. I think it's important to really connect all these kind of vertical of tourisms and take it to the next level. When the last one, which is important, is circularity. How do you create a circular economy is important for both nations. I think that's an investment where we look at opportunity for investment in these two, in this as well sector will be a vital investment for both as well nations.
What's the kind of growth in tourism that you're looking at in 25, 26?
What we're looking at in the UAE itself, we are above 12% of GDP. We want to reach about 17% of GDP by 2030. Now, with the growth of that happening, we've seen in the UAE itself, we were launching last year for itself, we had 12 new hotels launched. We want to see more as well this year. And I think what the growth between us, I think, is important. We hosted more than 4.2 million Indian tourists in the UAE, grown from 3.7 million last year. And I think that growth as well showcases that the UAE in India tourism culture is really embedded in it. I think the most important as well, air connectivity. For tourism to really take place, the air connectivity is a vital aspect to really connect between the UAE and India, to really reach new destinations in India, to really showcase the beauty of these places, and to really create investments into these areas. Tourists want very reliable air connectivity, quick clearances that will allow this to happen.
Right. My final question, any discussion on increasing more flights between India and UAE?
Well, at the moment, the India and UAE flights has reached the maximum level. I think that's an important aspect as well, to look at maybe different cities, destinations where we can really increase airlines to it from both sides. I think it's important. There are new airports in India that has been constructed in the last many years. There are new international airports. I think they deserve as well connectivity from the UAE. That's something which is an important and vital aspect. It will really push tourism, it will really push economy, it will create jobs in these areas. And one airplane comes in, create a lot of jobs, it will reflect as well into the airline industry and aviation industry, the maintenance industry, the products. There's so many things that comes when an airline really focuses on a destination. And I think that's something which is an important aspect to really look at for tourism in particular. I always say if you want to really get investments, you want an idea to move around or technology, you need to move a human first. And I think it's an important aspect. If you move people first, you get an idea, technology, or the investment as well with that human movement. So air connectivity is a vital aspect for both nations. The UAE understands it. We have the highest air connectivity to the world, and I think it's important when you look at it as well, how this really boosts economic growth in any nation.
All right, that was Minister of UAE for Economy and Tourism, Abdulla Touq Marri, here on CNBC TV 18 Global Lens. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.